This is a Hope 1032 podcast.
To She Wasn't Born Yesterday for women who are 40 plus fabulous by the Empty Nest Chicks. I'm Janet Evans, ex-M&T Saatchi advertising creative, who have won numerous radio and TV awards. Not that that'll affect us because we're doing a podcast.
And I'm Dr. Amelia Haines, who has been a medical doctor for 30 years and specialising in sexual health and mental health and relationships, and I'm generally a very useful human being.
Well, we'll find out about that, but we are here to work together.
People tell me on good authority that I am.
Really? Yes, well, they never say that to me, so I think we're the perfect hosts for She Wasn't Born Yesterday. Gorgeous domestic violence. Our next episode on She Wasn't Born Yesterday is about domestic violence, escaping it.
Yeah.
And
it's not a light topic.
It's not a light topic, but we do talk to two very, very knowledgeable and inspiring ladies who know all about it in their work with women. And here's the interesting thing about this episode that I think it's a little known, a sort of forgotten victim of domestic violence is the kids involved in the situation.
Yeah, I was glad that was addressed, actually.
Yes.
Because at the moment, there's not much chatter about that.
Actually, I mean, there's a huge noise about mainly, everyone says, you're generalising, it's men violent against women, but that is the majority of cases, right?
Well, exactly. The vast majority is men being violent with women.
Yes.
But certainly, I think the unforgotten, or the forgotten little, but it is a small sector of women being violent with the children and the husbands and so on.
Or like daughters to parents and all that sort of thing. So we're we haven't addressed that in this episode. But
we've gone with the majority thing,
we have.
Which is kind of males to
women.
They're close.
Also the kids, because, I hadn't really thought about this. There's been a couple of high-profile cases recently, which devastatingly tragic, where a guy would, kill the kids
to hurt
the woman.
The woman,
which is, utterly unbelievable.
Well, actually it happens, sadly, relatively commonly. I was going to say that, you're right, it has been talked about recently, but it's happened way too many times. It's a relatively it's a relatively kind of common way that people try to control their partner and punish their partner.
So I was going to ask you, what is it in a guy's head that makes him think, I need to control this person, and harass them and stalk them and hurt them?
I think this is the holy grail, though, Janet, the answer to this question. So I certainly don't have the holy grail.
I want you to have the answer.
Well, I know, and people wish that they did have the answer to that, because we'd all be a lot better off, including the men involved, if we all knew what the exact trigger and the exact reason was. But it's way more complicated, I think, than that.
Do you think sort of a guy is sort of born that way and sort of heads that way, where he has that tendency?
Well, exactly. I think there are definitely things within his psychology, some of which he will have been born with, that lead him to be unable to know how to deal with really awful feelings that he's having in any other way than these awful expressions. Yeah.
And is it also about role models? Like if you're in your family situation, if your father has been quite disrespectful to women, or
I'm sure. We feel sure, I think, from research that's true.
Yeah. But I was actually shocked to hear how many kids have been affected by domestic violence before they even, at a very young age. Even just witnessing it, if it's not directly to them, must have a profound effect on their psychology, right?
Yes.
So what do you think it actually would do to a child to see their mum abused by?
Well, it affects them for the rest of their lives. Yeah. So I think that's the other thing. You can't just go, you're all right now, you're safe now, you're in a safe space. That helps, but they carry the wounds. They carry the wounds for the whole of their lives.
Yeah, because I guess you'd be sort of thinking, you'd also be thinking, am I part of this? Have I caused this? Do you think that would be an aspect of it? Like,
I'm sure
as a
for
child,
children.
like, yeah,
Yes, for children.
if I just keep really quiet,
am I to blame for,
for
being naughty, taking an extra cookie from the cookie jar? Did I kind of bring this about?
Yeah. I used to do that all the time, but I never felt bad about it, ever. But so it was fascinating to talk to Justine, particularly because I think she actually is a psychologist who works, or a social worker as well, who works with children, specifically children in trauma between the ages of 1 to 13.
It was lovely to have her angle on the children in particular, because it is true that society is talking and thinking about men's violence to females, and that's wonderful. But the children at the moment don't necessarily, get talked about.
Yeah, that's exactly
so it was
right.
lovely talking to her.
Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously when a child is killed by the father, I recently heard about a 2-year-old who was killed. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, even being a police person or any of the first responders going something like that, it just has a profound effect on individuals, but society, don't you think? And do you think it's actually happening more often now?
Or are we talking about it?
Are we just talking about it more? Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, the stats on that just can't be ever known. I think people have been very silent about it for a great many decades.
Why do you think
we can't know.
Why do you think that is?
I think that people feel, we're talking about men, so it's their father or it's their partner, and they feel a lot of faithfulness to their these people are important to them. They are with these people for a good reason. So it's not easy to kind of do the dirty, which people see it as being, on those people who are really important to you.
And I think you probably think, like, as a woman who's escaping that kind of situation, you probably think, I won't cause a fuss because then it'll just draw attention to me and the kids and where we are, and sort of, I guess you'd also be like, by the time you get to that point, it's been really gradual, perhaps, where it's built up over time.
I think it usually is very gradual. Like, usually you don't find out about 2 months into the relationship. Or if you do, hopefully now people are just turning on their heels and actually leaving the relationship.
Yes. So it is quite a triggering episode that we've got coming up, but it is a very powerful one, and it's a really interesting and inspiring one in a lot of ways, to just understand more about this situation.
Yeah. I think it's so good that society at large is actually really addressing this issue more and more.
Absolutely. Governments, laws, all that kind of thing. So we look forward to your company this Thursday, Escaping Domestic Violence. The episode is dropping on Thursday. We look forward to your company.
Janet, I think we should also really point out that this topic is so triggering that actually a lot of people are really going to need support.
Yes.
And 1-800-RESPECT is a really useful number to know and remember and not feel embarrassed about jumping on. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that.
Important. So we recommend it, and take a listen. We look forward to your company.
Hope 103.2. Thanks for listening.